And I started dating her cousin. Why would I do that? All right. Had to handle that off camera. Are we ready? Come on. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Joanna.
I'm Sydney.
And we're the Cooks. Today, we're talking coming out. Yay! It's spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Confetti. I meant confetti. I said spaghetti, but I meant confetti.
Spaghetti could be good.
Bring it back. Anyway, we're talking our coming out stories. Chef Bay, aka Chef Cook over here, made us a cute little snack that we've already devoured halfway through. So TBH, I don't know how long it's gonna last. It's some sweet potato chips, and then what's this?
A cilantro vinaigrette hummus.
And it's really tasty. Okay, who's going first? Are you going first? I'm going first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess I should have watched one of these. I saw that like people do them all the time, but I should have watched a couple. Like, I guess it's just like coming out in general, or like coming out to like your parents.
We could do both.
And the snack is done. Okay. I'm nervous. I'm like, tell my coming out story. Why are you looking like that on PG County? What's wrong with PG County?
I didn't say anything was wrong, did I?
I'll buzz down on you. My first like girlfriend, 14 or 13. I was like 13 and a half, or I was going to 8th grade, and my birthday's in the summer, so it's late. So anyway.
July 33rd.
Exactly. July 37th to be specific. How'd you get that wrong? So, okay. I just moved back to PG County. My dad wanted to put me in a little Christian academy at the church that he was going to. So I'm at this church, and this person like storms out of church, out of teen church. And I'm like, what's wrong with him? So I asked my homeboy. We had become friends like the last service or something. I was like, well, what's wrong with him? And he was like, who? And I was like, him. And he was like, her? Basically. So anyway, that's how that went. I then found out that the person I thought was a little boy that was storming off was a girl. She was small, so I'm thinking like she was just like a boy that was my size, but she was just like a small girl. Because like I said, I was like 13 and a half, she was like 17. The optics don't sound great.
They just aren't. So how they sound.
Because it was her senior year.
Yeah. And that became your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh,
and she could drive and everything. It was great.
Yeah.
Like she had a car.
She was about to graduate high school.
No, literally. We were like texting and like talking a little bit. And then she ended up asking me like if I wanted to go to the movies. And I was like, okay. And anyway, I'll never forget, my dad thought I was going on a date. So like when he dropped me off, I kept going like, no, I'm just going with my friend. Da, da, da. I kept like talking about my friend and her. And then when we get there, at the movies, because I wasn't going on a date, I was just going with my friend. At Largo Town Center. She comes like walking up to the car, and he's like, you didn't tell me you were going on a date with that little boy. And I was like, she's literally not a boy. This is not a date. It was a date. Spoiler alert. It was a date, and we had many dates after that. And we were like besties. We were tight. So that was like my first experience. I hope you're well if you ever see this on the internet. She might be in prison. She's not in prison.
How you know?
Because I love to Google people. But anyway, okay, so coming out. So fast forward. I spent the year living with my dad that year. And
wait, what year was this?
My 8th grade year.
Okay.
And me and her had a tumultuous off and on situation. She comes to like my 8th grade graduation with like a new girl.
I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. The 17-year-old in high school brought just another person that was a lady that was probably their age to an 8th grade graduation. He was being toxic.
She was being toxic. She brought somebody to my graduation.
Like
so many things escalated from there, like messy things. And basically, I say all that to say, I asked my mom if I could move back in. I was like, I've learned my lesson. I don't want to be here any longer. Can I please come back and live with you? So I did. Lo and behold, this is how I came out. My dad found my diary from the past year.
Damn.
Yeah. So basically, my dad called my mom and outed me, and it was like a whole big thing. It did not go well. I wrote way too many things.
What was you writing?
I got so personal.
Like what happened at the movies?
That and more. What was I like writing like a telenovela? Like I don't know.
Oh.
Like I was gross, girl.
You probably had a few journals.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time together. I moved back in with my mom for high school, so I was in 9th grade. With my mom, though, it honestly went really, really smoothly. She was just like super understanding. She was just like, I love you for you. You're a person, and love isn't harmful. Like, as long as you're like a good person, not hurting anybody, like, love whoever you want to love. And I guess like coming out was like, I'm bi. I never really like labeled it, like, to be honest. Yeah, I was just like, I like girls sometimes and boys sometimes. And that's just like what it was. Spoiler alert, I had a baby when I was 16, so this is like after that occurrence. Because I got a boyfriend. And then I never really came out with like any of my other family members. When I turned like 19 and I had like 2 like back-to-back serious relationships, I just kind of like brought them around. I had the conversation with my parents, but like none of my other family, we never had like a come together, like let's sit down, let's talk about it. All of a sudden I started bringing this shorty to my grandma's house. Like she was just masculine, you know, like if you couldn't tell I was, you could tell she was. And she was always with me, so it gave like...
So what that mean?
Yeah, it gave, we was roommates for life. And then my friends, I'll never forget. So I told both of my best friends at a different time. One of my best friends, we're walking through the hallway. We're going to math class. And I just like felt inclined to like tell her. I think at the time I was like dating this girl and I just didn't want to keep it a secret. I didn't want to have to lie. So we're walking to math class and I'm like, I have to tell you something. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I have a girlfriend. And she was like, okay, but like, did you do the math homework? And I was like, oh, yeah. And she was like, okay, cool. So anyway, and like, that was just like it. Like, but not even like deflecting as in like, she didn't want to talk. It just like was like a non-factor. She was just like, okay. But did you do the math homework? Because like the bell was about to ring. And I was like, oh, should I like we should like talk about the answers right now. And then the other one's so funny. I don't remember ever telling her that I like girls. But one day she was just like, my cousin thinks you're cute. It was like her church cousin. I was like, who? And she like said a girl's name. And I was like, huh? And she was like, do you think she's cute? And like I did. So I was just like, yeah, she is cute. And I started dating her cousin. Then she knew too. Because it was like, of course she knew. Because I was dating shorty. So yeah, never came out to like any other friends either. When I was 18, I decided to move out of state because I wasn't really sure what my sexuality was or anything about myself. So I just wanted to move away and I ended up landing in Atlanta. I knew when I moved to Atlanta that I wanted everybody to know that I was bisexual. I didn't want anyone to like find out and then it'd be weird. So I did like this odd thing for like everyone I met and be like, by the way, I'm bisexual. No, literally.
You should have just tattooed it on your forehead.
No, literally, you would have think I wanted to. Nothing super crazy. I mean, you know, there was a little bit of fallout. My dad and I didn't talk for a little bit, but
he cool.
We're gang now.
Yeah, he cool.
Yeah, like he came to our wedding. He's great. Grandpa of the year. He's awesome. Everybody, you know, gotta come to terms with stuff when they're ready.
That is true.
So, yeah. What about you? Are you ready to get into your coming out story? Start when you were 6. I'm just kidding.
Well, I woke up. There's not really a specific time. I just always felt different. In middle school, I wasn't really interested in anybody, first of all. When I got to high school, things changed. I did have a boyfriend, but what do they call it?
Your
He
beard.
was my beard, yeah. Because I also had a girlfriend. But they ain't know about each other, right? I always catch myself looking at the ladies. I also lived in Oklahoma. Bible Belt, not a good idea. At least back then. I don't know what y'all are now. When I knew for myself, I guess I would just say always. My parents, that's another story. And they found out because they went through my phone. I got grounded because I was drinking at the movies with one of my friends, one of my actual friends. And I came home. And this day my dad also was like, you can stay out later tonight. I was like, cool. He said, you just need to knock on the door when you get home, their bedroom door. I was like, okay. So I got home at like 11 or something like that. And I did knock on the door because it was like kind of late and I was trying to be respectful. I wasn't drunk, but I was a little tipsy. So then I go to my room and I'm talking on the phone with one of my little friends. I don't know what I was talking about, but my dad, he texted me something I said on the phone to my friend. And he was like, yeah, and you can bring me your phone and your laptop. And I crashed out so hard because I was like, you're wrong. Like, privacy. Like, I'm in my room, my door closed. You could have just like knocked and been like, why did you come like knock on the door?
Yeah.
So I got grounded. And because I got grounded, I couldn't talk to my little girlfriend. So I would steal my phone every now and again from my parents' room. and she had sent me some photos. Yeah, I wasn't 13, okay? And I guess my parents went through my phone and they just saw some things that they were confused about. So I left. I packed a bag, I remember. Packed a bag.
He was running away?
Yeah, I walked through the woods and I was like, it's about to get dark. This isn't a good idea. So I turned back, go to one of my friend's house in the neighborhood. And I'm like, hey, can you take me to Texas Roadhouse? Because that's where Shorty worked. So we're on the way and two of my friends call me and they're like, Sydney, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, your parents.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, they're like, your parents are looking for you. Like, it's like you need to go home. Get to Texas Roadhouse. The girl at the time, my girlfriend, was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I don't know.
We're running away together.
Right, I thought. So then my parents showed up and then we talked for a really long time in a booth. I was grounded. I got my phone taken away every night.
Did they meet Shorty at Texas Roadhouse?
I think she didn't come to the house. I don't remember. Because one time I stole my phone from them and I texted her to come to the house. And she literally came.
After you told her to?
I know, but like I was grounded. So I'm like, why did you listen to me? I don't know. Like I was a mess. And then my parents were like, and I was like, so, and then they asked me a lot of really invasive, intrusive questions about my sexuality, which looking back on, I did not appreciate. It's fine because I think they just felt lied to.
Mm.
And maybe they didn't know how to talk about that instead of doing what they did, which is fair. So, and then my friends, we were just walking into the mall one day and my friend was talking about, yeah, like I was sticking up for you because so-and-so said you were gay or whatever. And I was like, it's time. So I was like, I gotta tell you something. She's like, are you fucking gay? And I'm like, she's like, oh my God. And then that was it. And my grandparents, I never told them, but I just showed up to the house one day with her. Like, this is my wife. Oh.
No, but literally that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Great times. They were super sweet. You were talking about how you were like, they felt lied to. And I'm like, I think that's what happened with my dad. I think he was so upset because he felt lied to.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, like what? Just tell me.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see that.
Now that I'm a parent, especially like to a teenager, I can see why it would be hurtful because it's like, if that's your friend, like cool. If that's your little boo, I would just like to know so I can know what's going on with you and also just make sure that we're having conversations about being safe and like being good to people and like all the things. Not that we're not having the conversations, but the point is, I get it. My dad straight up for a year thought that this girl who came over like all the time, she picked me up from school. She would sign me out of school. She would pick me up.
Because she was 17 and she was 13.
She started dating people her age when she went to college. That was a whole another issue we had. But we shouldn't have been friends, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in her defense, I also dated, like, because we were off and on. At my school, the boy I dated that year, he was in 11th grade.
Overall, we both kind of got outed. So
just to leave it.
You're constantly coming out to people. Like every day, you meet someone new.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, like.
I feel that. I also am constantly coming out, especially as like a straight presenting person. Like nothing about me, I guess to most people would scream gay. So even like when we got engaged, everybody was like, what does the lucky guy do? I made a TikTok about that, but like that was so true. Like it's like I work at a bar part-time and it's like, oh my God, you have to tell me about him. Like all these things. And at my main job, people are like, oh, is he? And I'm like, oh, I guess I don't really talk about my personal life. So you don't know that like married a woman. Overall experience for you. How would you say your coming out experience overall was though?
I would rate my overall experience a 5 of coming out in general. Yeah.
Okay.
No way.
With my mom, it was great.
Yeah.
Like she was really understanding. The only thing that she ever said that I like still think is kind of funny to this day was she was just like, I need you to figure out what your sexuality is because like you're making it hard on yourself to date. And she wasn't wrong. And she also said that to me when I was like 24. So like it wasn't when I was like young and, you know, a kid. But yeah, my dad, it wasn't great, to be honest. Like I said, we didn't talk for a while. It just wasn't, you know, it wasn't a good experience. And yeah, I think I was just like scared. But I guess overall, friends were just like awesome. Like they didn't, you know, make me feel like ousted. They didn't out me. They stuck beside me. So I probably would say my experience was like a 7 or an 8.
That about wraps it up, yeah.
Those are our coming out stories. I don't know how like boring or not boring they are, to be honest. I'm like, I don't know what people like. I feel like people be like crashing out. And I crashed out. I want to be clear. That's just not what made me come out, you know? I set my first girlfriend's shoes on fire. So I crashed out bad.
But we're better now.
It was after she brought that girl to my graduation. And I was in 8th grade. I just want to be clear. I mean, I finished 8th grade.
How did you have access to matches?
You think I didn't have access to matches?
Why did you?
I had access to all types of
But
things.
you didn't have access to condoms.
The condom broke. I'm dead ass serious. Saves anyway.
Next time.
Right, and another story for another day. You know, one day I have to tell the story of that time I said I was going to spend the night at my cousin's baby mama's house, but instead I got on a plane. I was in 9th grade.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that one.
That's a good story time. Why would I do that? Yeah. I was wild. It's snowing and
Snowmageddon 2025.
Yeah, and it's kind of the roads were just slippery. Thanks for tuning into our coming out stories. I hope they were either entertaining or enlightening or relatable. Coming out is hard. I don't really care how old you are. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back soon with another video. Let us know down below if you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video. Love to engage in the comments. If you have anything that you recommend we talk about, any videos that you want to see from us, leave them down below. And we'll be back soon. Bye.